Hi all, this is Nidhi here. So in my last class, I have discussed the relationship between TP, MP, AP through the help of a schedule and diagram. I hope it is clear to you all. If you have any doubts regarding that, please write it in my comment box so that I can sort it out. Now, and also like and subscribe my channel. Coming to the law of variable proportions, today's topic. So it is most important to understand. Law of variable proportion is a short period production law. That means it operates in the short run. It is also known as returns to a factor. Returns to a factor means change in the physical output of a good when quantity of one factor is increased while keeping other factors constant. This is the returns to a factor mean. Now coming to the law of variable proportion, let us understand the meaning of the variable proportion. In a production process, when only one factor is varied, that means only one factor is changed, keeping other factors constant. That means as more and more units of the variable factor are employed, the proportion between the fixed factor and the variable factor goes on changing. That means when the different quantities of the variable factor like labor are applied on the fixed factor like land, machine, the proportion between the two factors when combined are being changed. This is termed as law of variable proportion. This law states that as you go on using more and more units of the variable factor, total product initially increases at an increasing rate, then increases at a diminishing rate, and then it falls. This is the law of variable proportions. Now children, there are some assumptions which this law is based on. So it is been assumed that the firm operates in the short run. There is no change in the technology. It is assumed that technology remains constant. It is also assumed that the variable factor like labor are equally efficient. So some inputs are kept fixed like land, machine, while others are varied like labor can be changed. It is then only that the factor proportions can be changed. So these are the assumptions which this law is based on. Clear children? Now according to the law, as more and more units of a variable factor are applied, that means are applied on the fixed factors and technology, marginal product of a variable factor first increases and then decreases. Or you can say that employment of every additional unit of the labor with the fixed factor, total output first increases and then decreases. Labor is only the variable factor in the short run. So marginal product of a labor initially increases. After that, if you employ more and more units of the labor, marginal product declines and also can becomes negative. So this entire law children is divided into three parts. There are the three stages. Let us discuss these three stages. From first unit till sixth unit, it is the stage of the increasing returns. Clear? From 7th unit till 10th unit, it is the stage of the diminishing returns, that is the second stage. And beyond the 10th unit of the employment, that is 11th and 12th, it is the stage of negative returns. Now let us understand the stages one by one. First stage is the increasing return. When we are talking about the increasing return, we are talking about the profit. If you remember, in my last session, there I have explained the average product with the help of an example. I told that when average product increases, that means my labor cost is reducing. So as my labor cost is reducing, my labor becomes cheaper, economical and efficient. So company's cost of production falls and company earns profit. So what I am trying to say here is that increasing return means the increasing profit. Clear? So we all know till the time average product rises, the firm earns profit, because an increase in average product indicates increasing profit. Clear children? So till the time AP rises till 6th unit, so it is the stage of the increasing returns. The company earns profit. Now first stage is the increasing return and will operate till the time AP rises, becomes maximum and stopping to rise, which is up to 6th unit. Clear? Now the first stage is divided into two parts children. Now from first unit till 4th unit, total product increases at an increasing rate. Can you see? Marginal product, it increases at an increasing rate. But after 4th point, that is then 5th point, you see 5th unit of labor, my total product increases at a diminishing rate. See, my marginal product is falling now. So what I can see that up till 4th unit, my everything is increasing. My total product is increasing at an increasing rate. My marginal product is increasing. My AP is also rising. So up till 4th unit, my everything was rising, TP, MP, AP. But after 4th unit, the things are getting changed. That means what? After 4th unit, you see how the things are changed. See? So children, after 4th unit, my things are getting changed. That means from 5th unit, you see my TP is increasing at a diminishing rate. My marginal product is falling. So what I can see that 4th unit of labor, that 4th point is the point of inflection, we can say. Point of inflection is the point beyond which the things are changed. So I can say 4th unit is the point of inflection, because after that my things are getting changed. How? You can say TP is increasing at a diminishing rate and marginal product is falling. So, and AP is constant up to the 6th unit. AP is constant in 6th unit, you can see. So what I can see here is that point of inflection in the 4th unit, because after 4th unit TP increases at a diminishing rate, marginal product is falling. So 4th point is the point of inflection. Point of inflection is the point beyond which the things are changed. So again I am discussing increasing return. Increasing return is the first stage where AP is rising up to the 6th point, where first stage is divided into 2 parts. From 1st unit till 4th unit, total product increases at an increasing rate. Then after 4th point, the total product increases at a diminishing rate. Up till 4th point, total product, marginal product, average product was rising. After 4th point, things are getting changed. So 4th point is the point of inflection beyond which the things are changed. That means after 4th point, total product increases at a diminishing rate, marginal product is falling, and average product is also maximum and stopping to rise. Second stage begins from the 7th unit till 10th unit. It is the stage of diminishing return. Diminishing return means, you can say it is the stage where you see after the 4th unit, you see with the increase in labor, total product increases at a diminishing rate. See, it increases at a diminishing rate, is not it? And marginal product is also continuing to fall, and average product has started to fall. So diminishing return is not the stage of loss. It is the stage where a firm does not get so much of profit which he was getting in the first stage of increasing return. Here in the second stage, profit is less. So a producer cannot decide where to stop. See, after 6th unit, you see total product is increasing at a diminishing rate. See, 13, 6, 4. So it started increasing at a diminishing rate. Marginal product continuing to fall, and average product has started now to fall. So average product is still positive. So how firm can decide to stop there? So firm will see the total product part, where the 10th unit of labor has joined the work but did not add to the production. That means production now cannot go beyond that. Production cannot go beyond that. After this first stage, firm will always go into the second stage, just because average product is still increasing, means rising. It is falling, but still it is positive. My marginal product is falling, but still positive. So firm will see the total product part where the 10th labor has joined but did not add to the production. That means my production cannot go beyond. So firm what will do? Firm will the second stage will end here only. See, second stage will end where firm will find his equilibrium and maximize his profit. Clear? And marginal product becomes zero. Clear? This is the diminishing return. Now, third stage is the stage of negative return. Negative returns, that is the stage of making losses, which means the labor is coming but total production is falling, total output is falling. So what I can see here, when my total output is falling, which means that third stage the firm will never operate. Here marginal is going to be negative. So firm will never operate in the third stage. So this is the total stages which I have discussed with you. First stage, second stage and third stage. So firm needs to stop there. Firm needs to stop in the second stage where TP is maximum and constant and marginal product is zero but positive. So this is the scenario. Now you think as a producer, would you like to stop in stage 1 of production? You are a producer. You think and tell me. So, would you like to stop in stage 1 of production? No. Why? Because why? Because employment of every additional unit of the labor is giving me more and more output. That is, MP is rising. So, definitely I will produce more. So, why would I stop in stage 1 of production? Clear? Now, so I won't stop in stage 1. It is clear. Now, coming to the thing that you are a producer, would you like to enter in stage 3? No, because employment of every additional unit of labor gives me the less and less output. That means my production is falling, my output is falling, my total income will decline, and also even cost is rising. So it is foolish to work in stage 3 of production. Clear? Now, so in conclusion, what? Producer will come and stop in stage 2. Producer will stop in stage 2 where he finds his equilibrium, where he see that I can get my equilibrium and I can earn profit, and still my MP is falling, but still it's positive. So here the total product is maximum, so he will find his equilibrium in stage 2. So he will stop in stage 2. So this is the significance of the stages. More are there to explain. So be with me in the next video. I'll explain it. Thank you.